I think whenever we are in that tunnel of taking a call that, how do I go about things? There's this one fear is the word that stops us. And that fear, if we unlayer that, why is that fear coming from? Is it the fear of failure? Is it the fear that we are over expecting from ourselves? Is it the fear of resources? If we just unlayer that thought, that why the hell that fear is coming from, I think we can do anything. Just unlayer whenever anyone watching that, whenever you want to take a step, it could be personal or professional. Fear is the only term that stops us. Only term. It's a baggage. Just unlayer why is that fear coming from and where is it coming from. I think you'll get all the answers.
Hello everyone. Welcome to my podcast. This is your host Drishla. On today's episode, we have Aishwarya Jain, who is the founder of I'm Happiness and a researcher in consumer psychology. I'm Happiness is a network of global experts working towards holistic well-being. We had conversation on mindfulness and spirituality, and I really hope that this podcast hydrates your brain towards growth. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm awesome. My brain is hydrated with this incredible podcast of yours, and I'm overwhelmed to be here.
I'm equally excited because we have been planning this since so long.
Yeah.
Okay, for the people who don't know you, can you brief a little about you and your I'm Happiness initiative?
So I'm a creator, I'm an entrepreneur, and I think the idea of starting any venture is to create an impact. So that's what my entire goal of life is, to build something which can really solve a problem. And that's when I'm Happiness comes in the picture. I think you have been a part of my journey since the scratch, when I was not even aware of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So like the name says, Aham Sukham, the idea is to bring hope among people inside their soul and ignite happiness.
Okay. If I may ask, what mindful activity or what spiritual activity did you do today?
Okay, so my entire life now surrounds towards uplifting my soul and reaching to my potential. So even when I'm working, I really make sure that my internal well-being is so strong that I can give the results to it accordingly. So I start my day with a chanting called Om Mane Padme Hum, which means your method of your life and your body and soul is connected. So when we are running a business, I'm sure you would know that, when we are doing this podcast, you have to be solely into it. Also the method, the strategies have to be in place. So Om Mane Padme Hum is a beautiful Buddhist chanting mantra. It says the world should heal with uniting methods and soul. So I start my day with chanting of that. And I think that's
Wonderful.
The biggest hack
That's
of today.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I've seen this mind shift change in the world, that people are so much interested in learning the manifestation techniques, applying the Mahabharata teachings to modern life, learning different types of breathing techniques, and that has suddenly evolved so much. I think the reason must be that social media, like there are a lot of teachings available on social media. What do you think on that?
I think we both as well, right? Haven't we evolved from the way we were in the school to
Of
sitting
course,
here,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's how the world is moving towards. And because there's so much anxiety, so much pressure, competition, we all as humans need a center in life. So center means what? Some people, it's a basically staying high. So as humans, we need some or the other high. Someone will be getting high towards substance abuse. Someone will be getting high towards reading. Someone will be getting high towards talking. So, I think the biggest high we can have as humans is a positive high. And that's when the idea of meditation, chanting, breathing techniques comes in, because it's a positive high, which has no repercussion towards bad things. So, I think the way the world is also going in terms of the yoga, in Ayurveda we say, is going towards conscious living. So that's the way we're going to continue. And I think that's when the Brain Hydration podcast will come in a beautiful impact to the people, where, uniting this content, we can actually make people sure that their brains are the most important tool to be hydrated, not just our body.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Your
I
only
think
your
that's-
body
yeah.
needs water.
How do you keep the name?
That's how I
Exactly,
kept the
right?
name, like,
Yeah.
because your brain needs the equal amount of water.
Yeah.
And by water I mean the hydration, and by
Right.
hydration I mean suggestions, perspectives, different perspectives from different level of people.
Like it's the juice of life,
Juice of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And also, like, there has been scientific backings for meditation. Like there have been scientific research for the people who have been meditating since 20 years and 30 years.
Right.
So I think all of this is impacting the people, and because of that, there has been this mind shift change.
Absolutely. I think the oldest ever technique that's existing in the world, not India only, it's meditation and yoga, which has been sustainable, be it Steve Jobs, be it Martin Luther King, be it someone from the World War. I think it's the most consistent thing ever, and it's gold. It's totally for free again. You just got to be with yourself, and so convenient. You can do wherever you are, and it can be the juice of your life. And easy, sasta, tikau, whatever you call it, and you can uplift yourself. So.
Okay, so you have worked with different types of people, like you have taken initiative to help people who are facing addiction, sex workers, people from slums. So how do you create a mindful change for them? Like they are from varied backgrounds. So how do you create a initiative which works for all of them?
So like we have bespoke services in fashion and more. Similarly, I have bespoke solution for your well-being. So we provide concrete solution to people because we are so different, you know. Like I would come from a certain background, XYZ come from a certain background, and they'll have so many different experiences. So we really understand the human first and where they're coming from and when they want to reach. So then we provide a holistic well-being solution so that we can really have a sustainable impact. Like just a pill would not really work because that's just a short-term solution. Your mind has to be lubricated all the freaking time. That's the entire goal of I'm Happiness, to provide the bespoke concept solution for your entire well-being and your family as well. So when I'm working with sex workers, you know, it's one of the closest project of my life. So we provide peer-to-peer education because, you know, support group is the biggest tool that they can have. Then when I'm working with high net worth individuals, you know, for them education plays a really integral role because they want to reach to a certain potential. So, you know, from food to environment to experiences to master classes to one-to-one coaching to therapies, basically every way we align the mind, body and soul idea, and we give the tool according to your individuality.
Right. Do you want to share any initiative of yours where you are actually proud of I Am Happiness?
Yeah.
Any moment where you were actually touched?
I think right now I'm so proud sitting here with you, talking about it. Coming to me about I Am Happiness, I think I got the idea of I Am Happiness is the biggest, proud was a wrong word, but I'm so grateful about it. I think the Nirbhaya case that happened, right, shook me really from inside. I was not really okay that how can anyone hurt someone so much. That was my first trigger. And then I left it, of course, you know, I was studying, I was doing my own work and I was building my own business, but it still subconsciously was hitting me somewhere. In this process, I started researching on two things. One, how rural people stay happy and how successful people stay happy. And that's when I figured that, you know, the idea of happiness and hope is the biggest quest of human life. Tunneling towards that, I started an initiative called Hello Happiness, which is an initiative I'm really, really proud and grateful for. And it echoes how beautiful humans are. So we have people like Ranveer Brar, we have people like Abhishek Kapamanyu, we have people like Devdutt Patnaik on board, and these people provide one-to-one free mentorship to the people for any of the emotional challenges they're going through. I think as humans, you know, I think we can just be kind to each other, and when people like these who have so much experience, who are just so out there, and they were okay to just be for the people, echoes that everybody has goodness in them. So I got a lot of my life answers also through Hello Happiness, that you know what, anything can happen, magic legit exists, and goodness can do anything. So Hello Happiness is the
But
initiative.
what did the campaign do? Like, what was your role in the campaign? How did it help people?
So we provided one-to-one free mentorship to the people for whatever queries they had. I'm doing the season 2 again. It's coming up in a few months down the line. I've increased my mentors. We impacted in a way that as humans we always need. So suppose someone is going through financial anxiety. So if they go for a therapist, it can just channel you in a certain way. But then if an investor guides you that, hey, you know what, I'm gonna guide you with how to you use that money, if you're feeling bankrupted, if you don't have, the idea to run your financial goals, here we have that, it's not just about random mentoring. It's about, again, like I mentioned, bespoke solution towards your problem that you want to cater on with the best of the experts, So everybody is not expert in everything. And hence, we scouted the best souls from across the globe. And I'm so honored to have them on board. So that's what we did. So after providing one-to-one mentorship, we saw the change in their lives, pre and the post, that what impact they went through and how much they grew. So I think that is the juice of my life.
What is mindfulness according to you?
You tell me yours. What would be your answer to that?
According to you, mindfulness is when you eat, remembering that there are people who are hungry. So being mindful in what you are taking in your plate.
Correct.
Like, I don't want to take so much that I can't eat the full plate and then we just keep it. Like, I don't want to do that. Same with the water.
Right.
Same with the clothes. Same with everything. Like, you have to be knowing that there are a lot of people who are not getting the privileges which you are getting. I think that is mindfulness for me.
Right. Absolutely. It's goodness, right?
Yeah.
So mindfulness term is one of the most oldest practice. I think it's more than like 100-year practice. When the World War I was happening, even the Vietnamese War, any of the wars you talk about, there's always been a leader who has inculcated mindfulness tools. It's come from there. Like the name says, mindful. It means when your mind is full towards an action that we are doing. Like right now, we are so absorbed in this podcast. We are mindful towards whatever we are talking. That's all mindfulness is. Suppose you're eating food, just feel the way you're drinking every sip of your coffee that you're gonna take. Be mindful of every moment that you're having, and automatically you'll be feeling so fulfilled in your life. It's just, being aware of what you're talking, what you're eating, what you're feeling. So whenever you have a thought coming, just be like, hey, you know what, I'm thinking that, I'm thinking this. Just being mindful that moment.
Self-conscious.
So, absolutely.
Sorry, self-aware.
It's of course self-conscious as well. Like you're conscious about, like when we go for a party, right? Aren't we like conscious that, hey, you know what, how am I looking? What am I feeling? What's the vibe like? Similarly, mindfulness is self-conscious. Internally, what you're feeling. Are you feeling the podcast right now? Are you feeling where you are right now? When you're going out on a date, are you in that moment? So mindfulness is nothing but just being in the moment.
And life is too short.
Yeah.
To not enjoy the moment.
Absolutely. So whenever we go out for coffee, right, we both, don't we like just get so absorbed in that 1 hour? Every problems go away and we just into each other. Yeah. So I really want everybody to be like us and just be there.
Yeah. Well, I love those. I think whenever I spend time with you or with my good friends,
I want to be the first one. You don't have to add good friends there.
My best friend. But what I'm trying to say is, when you spend time with the right people, you do tend to forget your problems, or I may say that you do share your problems, and the burden becomes half.
Yeah. So in a scientific term, whenever we are surrounding towards people we love, there's a hormone called oxytocin which is released, because humans are nothing but a chemical processing plant. We're driven by 4 hormones: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin.
Yeah.
So I've been researching cognitive psychology and consumer marketing and more. That's when I realized we are just a chemical tank. So even right now when we are talking, we are having intellectual conversation, a certain hormone is released. When we are doing yoga, GABA hormone is released, and that's when you start feeling good. So whenever we are having a moment which is so beautiful, whenever we are hugging our moms, so that's when the oxytocin hormone is released. So I just want everybody to just keep collecting the oxytocin hormones by being in the moment and being surrounded with love, and give so much love, so that a lot of good hormones are released.
Yeah, I know, right? Do you think that being mindful has helped you in being more resilient?
Absolutely. Like there was a time I used to feel like I'm a big loser. I'm confessing here. And from loser to everything is possible for me. I think it's just because of mindfulness and the feeling I have for myself that I can do anything in my life. Be it achievement, be the love of my life I'm going to get, be the love I'm going to give to my parents and my family, friends, whatsoever. My last initiative was hosting Aman Gupta. He is the founder of Boat and an incredible human. So I just manifested that, hey, you know what, God, I want to do this. So I saw his Harvard post that he posted that, you know what, he got into Harvard for teaching and research, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to host him. And be there for the people, you know, that his teachings could help my I'm Happiness community members and things like that. And I think it just happened because my intensity, my mindfulness towards achieving that purpose was, you know, fulfilled. So, and from loser to being able to achieve what you want, and I think it just happened because I was pure towards my intentions, and yeah.
That's so inspiring. Wow. Now I went to some like positive thoughts, you know, I also can do this. There is magic.
You are doing that, like always. I think taking a step is the first step towards growing, you know.
It's so hard, you know, like to take a step for yourself.
Yeah.
Like when you are working for someone else, you go out of the way to do things for them. But when you have to take the first step, which is kind of easy, but you still can't take the first step for yourself. It is so hard.
It is very difficult, especially for people like who are overachievers or rather ambitious, you know, because we will put our entire intensity to it, the truth to it. So we will want everything in detail, like when we were starting the podcast, how you were like a boss babe, they're checking every freaking thing out. So for people like us, it's going to be really tricky.
Yeah.
But when we get going, then nothing can stop us.
Yeah.
I think whenever we are in that tunnel of taking a call that, you know, how do I go about things? There's this one fear is the word that stops us. And that fear, if we unlayer that, why is that fear coming from? Is it the fear of failure? Is it the fear that we are over expecting from ourselves? Is it the fear of resources? If we just unlayer that thought, that why the hell that fear is coming from, I think we can do anything. Just unlayer whenever, anyone watching that, you know, whenever you want to take a step, it could be personal or professional. Fear is the only term that stops us, only term. It's a baggage. Just unlayer why is that fear coming from and where is it coming from. I think you'll get all the answers.
That's a very interesting way to see it. I think if you journal it down.
Yeah.
If you journal it down like this is my fear and this is how I can overcome.
Absolutely.
Maybe the path would be little difficult, but now you know what you have to achieve. So yeah. Okay, any mindful techniques which you would like to share with us, which people can apply in their daily routine to get its maximum benefits?
Absolutely. Like, but then before I say that, I will really request everyone that, hey, you know what, figure out your technique first. These are just my techniques because it works for me. So as humans, you know, we have bad energy and good energy, because suppose we are going through a failure, so we'll start feeling negative. And then when we are going through a happy time, we'll have that happy energy. End of the day, the energy is same. It's just that we label it that, you know what, I'm not liking that feeling because, you know, you wanted something, it didn't happen. And then when we are happy, it's again the same feeling, but we are labeling it. So before any of the technique, just label what you're feeling first, and then utilize that energy into something very positive. Like I love squash, I love kickboxing, because whenever I'm like in so much pain or chaos, I just want to like bang in there. And when I want to feel really bliss, I would just go talk to my mom. That would be one of the biggest channel. And chanting really, really works for me in a massive level. Chanting is nothing but affirmation. So Om Mani Padme Hum. It means method and systems, you know, and for the world to heal. That's my goal, that I want to unite my methods and my soul quest to achieve the goals of the materialistic world. So everybody can have their own mantras. Like another mantra which I really abide by is Om Reem Lakshmiyaya Namaha. So that means I'm really thankful to Lakshmi Ji, the power of the Lakshmi Ji, that she's giving me so much wisdom and prosperity. Like my name itself is the meaning of Lakshmi, that how we can actually achieve lordship. So when Saraswati Ji, that is wisdom, you know, and that is translated towards Lakshmi Ji, that is wealth, is when the transition happen. So understand your Saraswati, understand where your wisdom is coming from. Everybody is skilled enough. And then translate into wealth, automatically magic will happen. And just be pure, like whatever you're doing.
Your intentions
yes,
are pure.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Can you tell me something about your spiritual journey?
Yeah,
Any story which you want to highlight?
I think you know a lot of it.
Well, the listeners, they need
I think the bad patches of life is what got me into this, and I'm so blessed that I used my pain towards growing. So I was going through an emotional patch few years back. It's been like a really long back time. I was in Delhi and I was just exploring my life. What do I do? Randomly, I was in a cafe and someone mentioned Rishikesh. A random person I don't even know. And I'm like, you know what? I'm really like heavy in the head. I'll just go. And I went to Rishikesh, and that's when my first Ganga Aarti happened. I was not aware what Shiva is. I was not aware what chanting and all of that is. I was just, as a blank slate, I went there. I met such beautiful people from every length of life, all the best of the startup founders, investors. I was just, I went in an ashram called Paramant Niketan, where I met my Guruji, Paramant Guruji, and he's like, you have a beautiful journey ahead. Just go towards it. And that's when my journey of, spirituality started. That's when I got to know about Shiva and everything that I'm talking about. But then there's a big difference between religion and spirituality. I would really want to clear that religion is man-made, spirituality is a lifestyle, it's a way of living. Spirituality is the way our science of the soul is, like, technology. Spirituality is technology for our soul. That's the answer. So these are just tools, whether Shiva or chanting or yoga or meditation, journaling. These are just tools which is good for you. So I think Rishikesh was my, first spiritual journey. And I think now every moment I want it to be spiritual and pure. Yeah. Like right now I'm so in a spiritual space because I'm talking with my favorite human and talking about my favorite subject. Yeah. And we're going to impact so much with this. I can't even explain.
Yeah. Do you have any spiritual person for your guidance?
I learn from everyone because we all have so much to offer. So we as humans have good and bad sides, but it's very subjective. So there's a story which I would just share that bachpan mein, whenever I used to go to travel and to scenes with my parents, be it in India or outside, my first question that my dad would ask, what did you learn out of that vacation? I would go for a movie with my family. My dad and mom would ask, what did you learn out of this movie? So I was like, I'm going for a movie for entertainment. I'm going for a vacation for entertainment. Why the hell would you ask me that, what did you learn? But then that's how my mind started operating, that every moment learn something. And that is a very spiritual practice because when you learn, your wisdom grows and then you unlearn the things which is not important to you at that phase of your life. So I learn from everybody, like everyone, from my driver, from my dad, mom, you, everyone around, And number two, of course, I have my own coaches and gurus for my spiritual journey. I think B.K. Shivani is the biggest guru I could think of, So I literally write her notes whenever I'm going through something. I have Dwarkadesh Maharashri. So whenever it comes to Gita teaching and coaching, Devadat Patnaik ji for my Gita coaching again. There are a lot of these Huberman Lab. He's a doctor. When it comes to scientific approach towards life, and because I love building businesses, so I have a lot of business gurus which I really, really abide by. So Steve Jobs, for the matter of the fact, he left everything when he was going through pain and he came to India to have self-discovery. So I think been picking a lot of things from awesome people.
That's
I'm learning from
actually
people.
So wonderful.
Who is yours? Who do you look up to?
There are a lot of people. I think so. For me, it depends on what phase of my life am I going through. So
and
when
what phase
I was
of life
going
are
through
you in currently?
Learning communication.
Okay.
Yeah, because of course this
Right.
podcast.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me right now would be being good at communication.
Right.
So I think I'm listening to a lot of podcasts right now. My top favorite are of course Ranveer Alabaria. You know that. There is one.
What do you like about him?
I love the quality of the podcast, the right type of questions he asked, and the type of guest on his show. They are actually so good. and he tries to get the best out of him
Yeah.
or her. I also love this podcast called Caller Daddy. It is, I think, one of the top 5 podcasts in the whole world.
I love the name. Yeah.
Yeah. And there is, of course, Joe Rogan. I listen to that a lot. There is one girl from London. Her name is Shivani. I think she also has great podcast. So yeah, these are the people I'm looking up
Right.
up on right now, because my journey is learning communication, learning how to do a podcast. So it depends. Like before, when I was going through this phase where I wanted to be a fashion designer, my guru were Sabyasachi and Manish Malhotra and people like that. But yes, right now this is what I want to learn, and so these are the people I look up on.
I missed out my most important people name, that is my parents. I think beyond anyone in the world, it's my mom and dad who are my gurus. The way they hold by me and the teachings, I got to know about Kabir ke dohe. I got to know about a lot of lessons from Gita and more because of my mom. And when it comes to the brains and building businesses, I get from my dad. And whenever I'm lost, they are the biggest gurus. So yeah.
I believe that we are very privileged to be born in such wonderful families.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think the biggest hack towards this conversation would be being grateful of having people around you, because we as humans are social beings, and because we have people, everybody have some or the other one, and then whenever we feel lonely on the bed, we forget that we have so many other people, we're like,
True.
oh my god, wo nahi hai, that person is not there
True.
with me.
Yeah.
But then dude, we have 100 other people, we don't need that one.
I have
So-
a hack for that.
Uh-huh.
So when I feel lonely and thinking about like that XYZ person is not there in my life, what I tend to do is I open my mobile, I see videos in my gallery.
Right.
Like there are dancing videos of me with other people, there are eating videos with my friends, there are my dog videos, there is my mom and sister hugging each other.
Yeah.
So there is an accumulation of all the people in my life, and I realize like you have a quite entertaining life. Yeah, you don't need to be lonely.
You're blessed. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think
I'm
so
there-
that's what
I'm
you
there
can
in
do.
your
Just go to
life.
your gallery, see the pictures, see the videos.
Yeah, and I'm there in your life, so
I'm grateful
Yeah.
for that too. Okay, coming back to our podcast topic. For the people who are seeking spiritual guidance in their 20s, is there any advice, suggestion, or any statements which you would like to give them?
yeah, I think I've been in that journey. I'm still there in my 20s, and I think we should not take life so seriously. We should take the job that we are doing seriously. Like if we are in this podcast, we can't just fool around. We have to be true to this. But we can't be like, oh my god, I'm having a podcast, what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. That's a wrong narration to our mind. Because I think Sadhguru mentioned something like this, that in our head we create stories, okay? So stop creating negative stories. End of the day, it's what we direct. So when you're directing it, why not you make like a happy, good story in your mind, which is going to be fueling to you and your productivity. So do not take your life so seriously, because adding humor will really, really soothe it. And number 2, find yourself. It's an ongoing process, but it's very important to align the way you are, because we all are on this earth in a certain way. God has given us a certain tools and techniques, a technology, but because of the worldly experiences, like some got cheated, some got hurt, we lose out. Again, it's a fear coming up again.
Yeah.
So when we start losing out the essence of the way we are born, automatically we lose ourselves. So do not lose yourself in any of the pains that you have. Come back to the self again and better yourself. Automatically it will elevate you in a level that you can't even imagine. It's unstoppable for a reason, And as humans, we have 6 needs that we have, okay? Certainty, uncertainty, significance, growth, love, and connection. It's a common 6 tools. It's given by Tony Robbins, okay? Figure out your top 2 needs, okay? It's love, connection, uncertainty, certainty, significance, and growth. So we all have one or two commons. Just figure out of yours and work towards it. And for your people, just tell them that, hey, you know what, growth is my need. So please, let's just work towards that. Significance is my need. Let's work towards that. So everybody has their own set of needs. Do not let that go. Talk about it. What would be your needs from this?
I still have to figure out because I didn't know about this.
You can just, whatever comes to your head, you know, on the first zone. So the needs are certainty, uncertainty, love, connection, growth, and significance. And it's got to be something from your core.
Connection.
Okay. And number 2?
Growth.
Yeah. So just work towards that. Yeah. Tell your partner or your family that, hey, you know what, these are my 2 needs. Yeah. Let's just work around it. Understand with your partner or family, hey, you know what are your needs? So you can just twist and turn things.
Yeah, but this is very interesting. I think I should read about it more and find my need. I mean, are these 2 actually my needs?
So, you know, this set of questionnaire which the entire research has, because, you know.
What is the research or?
But you have to do the research to come to a conclusion. Yeah. And that's when you get to know your real need.
How can we go through that research? Like,
so there's a website called tonyrobbins.com, and just put up 6 needs of humans, and you'll get all the needs there. And again, be very mindful to all the answer. Don't cheat. So.
Yeah, you know one is judging you. You can just do you plan on getting married or finding a partner in that?
Absolutely.
Space?
I love the idea of marriage and companionship. I think marriage is a very skewed term right now, but I believe when 2 humans come along together for the hit of the world again, for the betterment of the society, it's a beautiful power. So again, as humans, we are having the entire married concept because of a reason, to again achieve something. So I really, and I'm a sucker of love. I love romance. So I'm really looking forward to find the guy of my life.
Yeah. And do you think you want him to be on the same page as you on spirituality?
Not really. I just want him to be the way he is, because I have 2 sides of me. I'm very childish in my own ways, and I'm very aware. So, and I'm giving, I'm a giver. So I think a good human would really work. That's about it. Yeah.
Okay. Are you reading any book right now?
Yeah, I'm reading 2 books right now. One is A Complete Investor. So that's for my brain, for my business. So it's by Charlie Munger. He talks about how to take right decisions and how to take the call of businesses, how to grow companies and shit like that. And number 2 is, it's a little driven towards spirituality, Conversations with God. So I have so many questions to God. I keep asking every freaking day. So yeah, he gave me answers, you know. So these are the 2 books. I would really recommend people to read these 2 books.
Which other book you said?
Conversation with God.
Okay.
That's the second one.
Okay.
So we have questions like, why would that happen to me? Why people are getting hurt? Why would a tsunami come? Why XYZ would happen? Why someone would meet in an accident? Random things, you know. So this book really answers your whys.
Right.
And The Complete Investor is totally for your business mind, which is where I like to learn. And Charlie Munger is an incredible human, you know. He is the partner with Warren Buffett, the world's richest man. And he's again so spiritual and making money. So yeah.
Okay.
Are you reading anything?
Yeah, I am reading Ikigai.
Oh wow. Okay.
Trying to find my life purpose.
Yeah. I think you're already on it.
I love this. I love what I'm doing, but I want to do more.
Of course, yeah.
So,
like I mentioned, overachievers. Yeah. You are, right?
I don't know about that, but yeah, I have to find my purpose. Okay, and so we have this segment in all of my podcasts, that is, we talk about the evolving AI and the social media impacting our life, our mental health. So I want to ask you this, that your work is so much related to social media, because of course you post your work on Instagram, on Facebook. Do you think that affects your life, your mental health? And if yes, then what do you do to not let it affect your mental health?
Never. It has never really affected me. Because the content even that I consume, it's very important to me it's very structured. I'm not a Netflix person, I'm not a content buff person, so I don't really go hogging onto it. As a human, I'm not, and I love reading. So it has never really bothered me, but I'm sure a lot of people have anxiety from social media. So I think the biggest hack that I would give is there's a thing called decision making. Okay, so every hour we can figure out how do you want to spend your life. So just, I think, study your life or a month. Like, just make a tool on your timetable or on a blackboard that today I'm going to use Instagram for 4 hours, and just keep writing. Hey, Monday, how many hours it happened? Suppose you exceeded 4 hours, just keep writing for 30 days, and then when you end the entire thing, you'll observe that how consistent you were, and automatically you will feel, oh my god, if you achieved it, you'll feel great. If you did not, you will feel shit about yourself, and automatically you'll start working on yourself. So just pour it, whatever number you want to give it to yourself, that you know what, I'm going to consume Instagram or any other form of content for 5 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever the hell you want. Put it up on your blackboard every night, that today I consumed for 7 hours, today, next day it was for 5 hours, and then just count it. And then you'll figure out that, hey, okay, I'm not really being good to myself, or maybe I'm awesome, and then just reward yourself with it.
Yeah. I think when you say this, every hour you figure out like how you want your life, that was really like a very interesting concept, that maybe every hour you take a minute and try to be mindful.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on right now in my life, how the other hour or other 2 hours of my life I want to be, and take a mindful decision.
Absolutely. Even in shopping, I'm not just saying, like, just it's got to be like serious stuff just for your growth and business. Even if it is shopping, when you're going for a shopping at a store, when you're talking to a designer, just be so much into it. You're out for eating cupcakes, you're out for coffee, just be like, relish it as if this is the last cupcake of your life, so just be into it and you'll feel magical. So and I don't think we can get away with tech and AI, and I think we should love it, because we can really use it in an interesting way, and it's definitely making our life easy. I'm a big advocate of technology. I love it rather. It's helped me grow my community on a massive level, and it helped me impact harder. So it's on us, how do you want to do it?
It's on us, how do you want to do it? It's on us how to be mindful towards it.
There's a really interesting quote which this Nobel Prize winner Andy Libert says, that your life will be made on how your day is made. So just depend on, like, if you see your entire day, you're sleeping the entire day, so your life is going to be like a sleeping soul thing. But then if you decide that, hey, you know what, my life is going to be a mix of XYZ thing, good things, bad things, that's how your life will be. So just gauge out your day entirely, that, you know what, I'm using tech for so much time, and the entire life will be like a slave of your tech. But then if you make slave towards a master, that's when the entire change will happen, that you will become the master of your life. And I'm sure we all want to be a master of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Aishwarya, it was lovely talking to you and getting a lot of hacks, which I'll also start to apply in my daily routine. I felt like positive talking to you. It was a wonderful experience. Thank you so much for coming to Brain Hydration Podcast.
Thank you so much, and I'm so excited for your journey, and I'm always there. And the way you are growing, rather we are, I'm so proud of you, and I'm sure your parents are, we all are. And let's make Brain Hydration Podcast the biggest podcast of the world and impact harder.
Thank you so much. Coming from a friend, again, grateful to have you in my life.
Love you.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Okay.